Welcome back, everyone. The White House officially closing its doors to the public, blaming the move on the sequester cuts. But now, a former Secret Service agent is speaking out, saying the president is a guest in the White House. The people of the U.S. are the homeowners. Closing the White House to public tours is clearly a petty, naked gesture of pure politics. And you remember the White House cited overtime by Secret Service as the reason for the shutdown. Joining me now is that former Secret Service agent and 2012 Republican U.S. Senate nominee, Dan Bongino. Good morning to you, Dan.
Thanks for having me, Gretchen.
So naked, petty politics. Do you want to expound upon that?
Absolutely. You know, Gretchen, the president doesn't get a mortgage bill in the mail every month for the White House. The fact that it's our house is not a campaign slogan. It doesn't go on a political sign. It's true. It's our home. Your tax dollars, your hard work paid for it. Your ancestors paid for it. It's our home. He's our guest there, and he works for us. That's a fact.
You know, the retort from the other side of your point of view is that, oh, look at Republicans, now we finally make cuts, and now they don't like the cuts that are in place. Your response?
Gretchen, we're spending $1 trillion. That is 1,000 billion more dollars than we did in just 2008. Are you seriously going to make the case, the Democrats at this point, that there are no cuts to be found other than keeping school kids out of our house, the White House? It's absurd. Just the idea of it's absurd.
Let's take a look at what the Oversight Committee recommended in recent ways to cut some of the waste that's going on in Washington. Money wasted of unimplemented recommendations. 2009, it was $29 billion. It skyrocketed to $67 billion in 2012. And the number of those unimplemented recommendations also on the rise since 2009, 10,000. 2012, there were 16,000. Would that be a good place to start, Dan, to try and look for a way to cut costs?
Well, it's time for this administration to grow up and govern. This is the new political aristocracy. I call them the Downtown Abbey crowd. You know, ask you to cut. I mean, a tax hike, Gretchen, is you cutting your budget. It's more money out of your pocket, is it not, that goes to the government. But the very idea of them cutting and making responsible cuts so you can live your life, to them is considered almost political heresy. I mean, think about the nonsense here. This is our government, folks. Take it back. You deserve better than this.
He called it naked, petty politics. He's Dan Bongino, former U.S. Secret Service agent and a Republican nominee for U.S. Senate in the great state of Maryland. Thanks so much for your time today, Dan.
Thanks, Gretchen.